What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So as you saw in the last video, we decided to split the removing process as well as the disassembling process of the engine into two videos because it was just going to be too long. So we're going to take off from where we left the last video, which was just as we got the engine on the engine stand. So in this video, we're going to be going through a detailed view of disassembling the Coyote engine and seeing exactly what went wrong inside the engine. So enjoy the video. Now we can actually start the stripping process because I just wanted to make sure I had a place to put everything and I can put everything in order so I don't get confused or I need to get some Ziploc bags so I can label things too. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So yeah, let's get stripping finally. Most of the front goodies off, as you saw. Now time to take the big old chunk of, man, that bright is light. Whew. Did I just say the bright is light? Okay. Time to get this whole big old chunk of glory off here. Beautiful. It's like that beautiful sound of when an oil pan gets released. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is lovely. As I took off the whole intake system for the supercharger, I noticed someone's lost what seems to be an 8 socket. It's probably my dad's, to be honest. Oh my goodness, look at all the crap just sitting on top here. You know, you can kind of tell it's been a drift car. Been in a drift car, shall I say. I should try and vacuum these bits up before it gets actually dropped in, even though I'm going to be taking everything apart. I want to minimize the damage that we're going to do here. So yeah, engine's looking very bare at the moment. It's looking good and we are making progress. Good old thump. Yeah, baby. Okay, front cover is off. Very sophisticated what's going on over there. But what I think I'm going to do is, usually I'll just turn the engine over and take the oil pan off. But what I think I'm going to do is just take the oil pan off now. Just so whatever oil is left over in there and the bit of water that's come out of the water pump and fallen now into the oil pan, that can stay out of the engine and keep the engine as clean as possible, just for later stripping and everything. But good progress. Taking a long time, but I need to do it slowly so I know what I'm kind of doing. But yeah, happiness, but also unhappy at the same time. Okay, we're back. Day number 3. I'm not spending all day every day here, so that's why it's taking a bit of time. But today's plan is to get the chains off, obviously get the heads off, and I really hope there's no damage on the core, but by the looks of the images we put in there, it definitely looks like there will be, but let's see. So let's get these chains off, we'll whip the oil pump off, whip the heads off. Let's see what the pistons actually look like. So, quick interruption, just so you guys are aware. It may look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. We are following kind of the sequence of events that's explained to us on a what do you call it? What do you call this thing? On a what's the right word? On a like an application, I guess, or an app. That's called ProDemand, and it kind of tells you step by step what to do when you're stripping or reassembling any vehicle you can imagine. So I'm just following their steps. Whoa. Great success. So this is actually pretty crazy. There's like oil filters inside here. Look at those. Tiny little oil filters. I obviously didn't know, but following this ProDemand system, it tells you literally everything step by step. So they do say remove and discard, which means obviously these get replaced. And yeah, no crazy filings or anything in these, which is pretty cool. My African tendencies just want to clean these and put them back, but we'll see. Okay, let's see what our next step is. So they do say it's super important to remove this front cam, they call it the mega cam cap, before the rest, otherwise it could result in catastrophic engine failure. So I think we'll listen to them, even though the engine has already been catastrophically failured, if that makes sense. So go ahead and remove these and keep on following steps, I guess. I think I want to loosen it by hand first. So you'll understand why they call this the mega cam. got to do now, it says, is pretty much repeat the exact same thing I just did on this side, but now do it on the left hand side. So at least now I kind of know what I'm going to do or need to do, so it'll be easier. But for me this is like quite nerve-wracking, because I mean, even though this engine's already stuffed, like who cares, but if it is savable, I don't want to stuff it up even more, you know, and I don't want to pull something out that's meant to be in one specific place and not put it back in that specific place. Like imagine putting the intake cam on the exhaust cam and switching those around. I should probably mark which cam's what over here, because I think this was the intake, no, that was the exhaust. It's got a part number if I do get really confused. I guess I can search that up, but yeah, I'll get back to that. Cool, let's get the other side off. I think it's time. I think we are ready to remove the heads. Everything is off. Everything is off, and according to Pro Demand, we are at the stage to remove and discard the bolts. So I'm gonna get the oil pan and all these goodies out the way. And let's get, whoa, jeez bro. What the? And get the heads off. Okay, let's get this silly boy rotated over. It's peeing. It's peeing. That's better. Can you see? Yes, you can see. Okay. Okay, now that that's all turned over, we can go ahead and get these big old bolts loosened off here. Okay, come on. This is hilarious. Piston delete. It's a compression feature, you know.
Holy
How is this thing running?
the door's
The rings.
not terrible. You got light in here?
I'm gonna go. Let me just get a flashlight.
Yeah, second from the front. Fuck. Is it piece of shit?
Not really even.
What the fuck?
Where did that piece go?
Tell something's different,
But even the end one's got that light in
but yeah.
Why am I not that lucky? I'd have that piece break off and it would destroy the head.
it. Yeah. Even the top of the piston.
Just like blew out, went right out the exhaust valve at the perfect timing, like, or up into the supercharger.
Because that's quite a big big chunk. Just weld it up and just put it back. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't think. Oh, you can definitely feel something.
No worse than anything you'll find in the junkyard, though, probably.
You think? Well, oh fudge. Okay, well, let's get the other head off and see what we're working with. Oh, the top of the valves don't look, well, on the head doesn't look bad at all. That's crazy, and it's actually, it's quite a large part that's come out off of that piston. The heads look good, that's great. That is magnifique, as Max would say. Art, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Stealing my jerky?
It's jerky. It's no biltong. But it's close.
It's not close.
It's close.
Okay, time to get the other head off. As you know, this is the side with the one that had the water on top of the piston. So we're expecting a blown head gasket on this side. Hopefully the block's not cracked. But yeah, as you saw, the one with the piston, the bores don't look too bad. But we'll need to inspect further once we pull the pistons out. So yeah, let's get this other head off. So I think we're actually super lucky. In a way, it could have been a lot worse. You can see there where it's been like kind of right over there, where it's been sitting for a bit. But we'll hone it out, and you can see the blow by over here. And it actually started here on number, what is this, 2 or 1? And it started coming through here. So I think this engine definitely was at a point where it was about to not fail, but it was getting tired, you know. 7 years of me abusing it. Before that, it was a media car, so got abused for 2 years or a year and a bit before I got it even. So can't complain, dude. This it's just testimony to these engines, man. So that's awesome. I really hope the part where we had the missing piece of piston, once we have the pistons out, we can properly check the bore. And I really hope that is salvageable. Okay, I just put the crank pulley back on so I can turn the engine to get this guy where I want it to be, which is right where I want it to be. So that should be good right there. Let's go ahead and zip this guy off here. This is... That's crazy. Literally, this is where Ford gets its name from. Built, Ford, tough. That's beautiful, man. That's madness. How is this thing running? Like if that ring join was there, oh man. You guys can see, that's crazy. That's just madness. That's freaking nuts. The sides still look perfect. That's beautiful. Alright guys, so we've done some inspections on the broken piston as well as on the walls, on the bores. The bearings look absolutely great. So the bores, actually surprisingly, that's the side, you can see the scratch mark, but it's more of a visual what is the word?
Cosmetic.
It's more of a cosmetic issue than a hardware issue at this time. So okay, there's multiple ways we can go about this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to see what the best option is. I'm going to do some more research. There's other stuff we can do while we put the engine to the side and kind of decide what we're going to do there. But here's our options. Cheap option: buy a new piston and drop a new piston in. Option 1, easy. Option 2 is replace all the pistons with forged Manley or Marley pistons and rods, which is also a rabbit hole, which is also a lot more money, which we don't have unless you buy merch. Hit the link below. And that would mean obviously new bearings, new everything. Option 3 would be a brand new short block from Ford, which they do sell, and which we are going to price just to see what that looks like. That means we'd have a brand new short block, we'd still use our same heads and everything else, maybe get a new timing tensioners, just clean up oil, to come with the oil pump and everything, come completely built. That's option, was that 3 or 4? I don't know, one of the options. And then what was the other option we had? I think that's all the options. Oh, the other option is finding a complete second-hand Coyote engine, either from an F-150 or a Mustang, but the F-150s are a lot cheaper. The bottom end is the same. The only thing that's different is the the cams. I think it's just the intake cams. So we can find, and there's many of them, but they all got high mileage. They're all gonna have 200,000-300,000 kilometers on. But that is another option. So we're gonna sleep on it. All right, guys, so I know we weren't too sure exactly what we were gonna do in terms of the engine build, if we were gonna get another engine, if we were gonna get a complete short block, if we're just gonna replace one piston, are we gonna replace all pistons? But I think we've come up with a decision. So what I think we're gonna do is replace all 8 pistons, and we're thinking of going with a set of Marley forged pistons, where they're a bit more beefier. We'll stay with the same rods, and then we'll change the head studs to ARP head studs, because obviously the stock Coyote uses the bolts. And then we'll also go ahead and change the main cap, so the crank main caps, those are torque to yield bolts, so we have to replace them anyway. So we might as well upgrade those as well to ARP main cap studs. I think they're studs or bolts, not too sure yet. So I think we're going to do that. So we can go ahead and completely tear down this engine, get everything out, and we can get her cleaned up, prepped, and kind of ready until we get all the parts. It's still early in the new year, so a lot of places are still closed. So we can go ahead, get everything else stripped out, get the block and everything cleaned up and ready for the new parts. So now we have a plan, and I think we'll be good. Oh man, what I'm now realizing is I should have taken off this back cover before putting the engine stand on. I completely forgot about that when now wanting to remove the crank. It's gonna be slightly more difficult to try and get that out of there, but I think I may have enough room. I guess we'll see, but because I really don't want to take this thing off the engine stand right now. That's just not gonna happen if I can help it. So yeah, let's go ahead, rip the bolts off, throw them bolts away because you do not reuse them. They are torque to yield bolts. And then it's just basically the crank. These main caps, crank come out, oil squirters for the pistons, and then we have a bare block. Yeah, let's get to it. I think I should be able to have enough room to pull the crank out now. That loose, that's to the side. I should have enough room. And then that I can pull off afterwards. So yeah, this for the oil pickup, this little guy. Mustn't forget where that goes. Although we're not reusing these, and I think the ARP studs comes with its own thing for that. I'm not sure, I'll double check. But yeah, now we can go ahead, get the main caps off, pull the crank out. Oh, beautiful.
Ready? You ready to touch on? Yeah, I put the touch it. You ready to touch
Oh,
You take a hold.
yeah, I need that.
I think you're here. We're taking that.
Max. Let me do it. I can have this thing. Like this. Whatever. That's what I need.
You have that on the side. Do it, agree?
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, these are floating thrusters. So crank is out. Last thing we're gonna do is just rip the oil squirters out, but what Ryan's gonna do now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just measure the the OD?
Pin.
The OD of the crank pin and the ID of the rods to make sure we order the correct bearings. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. These bearings still look, okay, let's not look at that one. They still look amazing. Well, that one I put down is not that bad. It's not that bad. This is I guess the last bearing to get oiled, so. But yeah, this number one still got all the grooves in it still. Crazy. Okay, let's measure these up. Alright guys, so basically what we're going to be doing here is measuring each of the journals for the big ends, for the rods that connect to the crank. So we'll measure the crank, get that measurement, and then we'll measure the rods. Obviously we'll make sure the rods are all torqued down to spec, so we know exactly what clearance we were working with and what we need to achieve in the future. So I've gone ahead and I've already done number 8. So basically we'll get the outside diameter of number 8 journal on the crank, and then what we'll do is we'll set this dial gauge to 0. So we'll set this to 0, and then we'll go to the ID of the rod. So basically, just use this one for example. Basically this will stick inside here, and we'll be able to get a measurement of what the oil clearance was. So we know what we need to aim to achieve with the new set, and to make sure that everything was still good with this engine. And by the looks of it, these bearings still look amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, do the rest. We've already done number 8, so I'll go ahead and do the rest. So these are what they refer to as cracked rods. So basically these rods are cracked apart, so you're obviously able to put it on the crank and put the bearings in. So very important to take note to put the cracked side, Ryan. He's showing me a very dirty finger over there. Crack side on the correct side, because if you don't, you blow engines. Hey Ryan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Basically, if you put it the wrong way, you can kind of see that it's the wrong way if you take note.
If you're paying attention.
Yeah, if you're paying attention. So just a public service announcement here. Just gotta make sure. So basically, tightening the rod bolts is a 3-step process. So first step 20 newtons, second step 38 newtons, third step 105 degrees. So let's get this guy tightened up. Push it down. Okay, so like I said, our spec is between 1.1 thou and 2.7 thou, and I think I'd like to be closer to 2.7 thou. So what I think I may do is run slightly oversized bearings if we can get them, which is like half a thou over, I guess. So basically we want to get it between, I guess, 0.0025 would be good for a little bit more clearance. Obviously currently our biggest one is 0019 and our smallest is 0014. So a bit on the tight side, but the 1.9s are kind of in the middle. So that's all good. No wonder everything still looks so clean and good, because the tolerances are still okay. Happy that's done. Now we just basically gonna get everything, all the engine parts, most of them already is cleaned and ready for assembly when that happens. Once we get, it's still a bit early in the year, so once we get pistons ordered and head bolts, main cap bolts, then obviously we can only start putting everything back together. So I'm going to get this stuff all cleaned up, ready for reassembly. So I think officially for the Coyote engine, we are done with the disassembly process. So I'm going to go ahead and get the engine block cleaned up as well. So that's also ready to just go once we get the new parts. And next we can start tackling stuff on the car. So that's exciting. So I'm glad everything else looks good in this engine. Main bearings are good, big ends are good. I'm so happy. Now you know why they call it Ford Built Tough, eh? Amazing work, Ford. Thanks for building such an amazing V8. Love you guys. So yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.